Hey, this is Matt from InvestiQuant. Today is Tuesday, April 6, 2021. Yesterday, the markets closed very strong, triggering an overbought reading on the upper Bollinger Band. So we closed above an upper Bollinger Band, which typically signifies a market that is stretched on the upside. That's being followed up with by some consolidation activity that's taken place a little bit higher. We do have a higher daily high, a higher low, and we're currently trading just above yesterday's closing price, above the open. And what we're going to be looking at this afternoon is what has happened with that same pattern that we looked at this morning, which favored the upside for the day. What has happened at the end of the session if we are favoring the upside, meaning we're holding above that opening print from this morning. So let me go ahead and set this up in Discover. We're going to look at all four instruments using a time-based entry of 3 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll be set up as a long that will exit at the close of regular trading hours, which is 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, for the gap direction, we gapped down this morning. I'm going to add that back to the test the same way it was this morning. I'm also going to set up the rest of the test here by hopping into the indicators. I'm going to say that yesterday closed above the upper Bollinger Band. We were above a 10 and 200-day simple moving average. And then the only additional piece of information that I'm going to add is in this post-open filters section. This is where I can add things around what has happened between the open and the time of entry. And I'm just going to add that we are trading above the opening print. So we're currently seeing a green daily candlestick that is developing. I'm going to hit equals for close above the open on the intraday close versus intraday range. And that intraday close is referencing the price at the time of entry, which I've got set to 3 p.m. So when it says close above open, that means the 3 p.m. price, which is the time of the entry, is above the opening print for the session. So don't know if that's going to be true at 3 p.m., but currently it is, and that's the pattern we're going to be looking at this afternoon. So let me go ahead and hit view results. And here we go. These are the results based upon entering the market long at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, exiting at the close, which is 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time. If gapping down following a close above the upper Bollinger Band in a bullish environment, and at 3 p.m. you are above the opening print of the session. So historically, this pattern has taken place 70 times in the S&P dating back to 2003. We've got 67 samples in the NASDAQ, 62 in the Dow, and 65 in the Russell. Looking at the win percent here, the win percent is telling you what percent of these samples have closed above the entry price, which I've got set to 3 p.m. And if we look at the S&P, you can see 60% of those have closed above that 3 p.m. price. So that has been a little bit more favored into the close. The NASDAQ's at 61%, the Dow is at 56%, and the Russell 57%. So all of those slightly favored, with the S&P and the NASDAQ being the strongest of the group. If we look at the average win and average loss on these, fairly similar in size there for the S&P. The average loss is just a touch bigger. For the NASDAQ, the average loss is bigger than the average win. For the Dow, they're pretty similar in size, and for the Russell, the average loss just a little bit bigger than the average win. So as a grouping, it looks like 3 of the 4, the average losses were a little bit larger than the average win. But looking at the win rates, all 4 of them were favoring the upside more often than the downside. So kind of similar to what we saw this morning, this pattern had favored moving higher from the open more often than not, but when it was wrong, the moves were larger on the downside. That's kind of what we're seeing here into the close as well. That's assuming that we are trading above the opening print at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So hopefully you found that helpful. Good luck today, and we will see you